to have event number 3 today. We have a lot of people joining in, so we'll just wait for a couple of minutes before we start the event. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Of how to relook at your startup concept. Today, we are very excited to have with us Mr. Shubhendu Panigrahi, who will be talking about building world-class team. Before I begin with the speaker introduction, I would request TiE Kolkata team to kindly come and welcome all the guests today. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi. We are glad to have Ravi Ranjan with us. He is a founder of Starting Up with Ravi Ranjan, and he's a startup expert. He's supporting us a lot to organize this boot camps, and I hope you all will enjoy the session. And if you have any feedback, any queries, do let us know. You can simply write to us at info@kolkata.tie.org. It's info@kolkata.tie.org. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ravi.
Thanks a lot, Neha. Really appreciate that. I'm very excited to welcome my friend and one of the most prolific name in startup ecosystem, Shubhendu. He's also known as Chalta Firta LinkedIn. He's an active community leader of Bangalore startup ecosystem. He's the co-founder and CEO of Skillenza, which is a full stack talent engagement platform. Skillenza enables companies to engage and hire talent through very interesting challenges and hackathons. Shubhendu graduated from IIT Kharagpur, and he was crucial in setting up the startup culture in and across the campus at IIT KGP. Apart from Skillenza, he also leads India's largest online startup community called the Bangalore Startups. He's a food engineer by education and a foodie by passion. Shubhendu always helps startups through various activities across the country. He started the initiative Reverse Pitch for the first time in India, which is a platform for VCs and investors to pitch to entrepreneurs. He's a TEDx speaker and frequently talks at events to inspire the young generation of entrepreneurs. Shubhendu was also a CNBC Young Turks for 2015. I would need a lot of time to just introduce Shubhendu because that's what something Shubhendu is. But today, Shubhendu would try and help us understand how primarily two part of the story. Part one, as an entrepreneur, when you're building your team, it becomes very crucial because it's not as simple as having an HR person in your team and getting them a job to build a company, but it's more importantly about how you can have very important people as part of your early teams, because these people are going to put their effort, their passion into building the company. It's not, they are not just an employee, they are part of your founding team. So it becomes very interesting and different. On the other side, Shubhendu will also talk about how Skillenza has helped some of the large companies, both in India and outside, companies like Amazon, Flipkart, and etc., to find very interesting talent from Skillenza open innovation, not open innovation, but challenges and hackathons. So these are the couple of points which Shubhendu will speak. Shubhendu, I would personally request you to share more insights on how we can find very good talent from eastern part of the community, because today most of our guests are based out of East India, and they are both entrepreneurs, business owners, SMEs as well. Shubhendu, thank you so much for agreeing and taking our time, and request you to please take it from here. Kindly unmute yourself, Shubhendu. You're still on mute.
Yeah, I think I'm using this thing that I thought it took some time.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I don't know whether it's prolific or not, but I try to do my part of the deal for the ecosystem, and I think there is a lot to do, right? As I see, a lot of things have to be done for the ecosystem, and this event is one of those initiatives, right? I have been a big fan of what TiE Kolkata does, and if you, I don't know whether you know Ravi, but I have been part of TiE Kolkata as a student. So I used to be on the other side. It's very,
very nice.
it's very funny when I realized that almost, I think 12 years back, 2008-9 would be the time when I was in my final years of the college, fourth year of my college, and it would be a fun day to go to Calcutta. Probably, I think it would be typically on a Saturday. These events used to happen Saturday, 6:30, 7 p.m. as far as I remember. and there was Munmundi who was taking care of
Yeah.
TiE Kolkata, right? So, and then Abhishek would be there, Pallav would be there, right? I think some of the participants today would be aware of obviously Abhishek, but I don't know whether they know Pallav in person or not. But Pallav, then Abhishek, they would be there, and we would what we would do is we studied in Kharagpur, so it was not very far, right? So bunch of us ESL guys and some people who were genuinely interested in startups back then, 12 years back, we would go to Calcutta, take a local train, take some newspapers, sit on the local train, go to Kolkata, reach Kolkata Havda by I think 5:30, then take a cab or something, reach the TiE venue, the event venue, attend the function. Then Pallav would take us for drinks most of the time. You know Pallav, right? And Abhishek will also join us sometimes. And then once that is done, we'll go to Park Street. Okay, after that, around night, we'll have a ball uh, in the street, eat rolls and everything, right? Listen to the live music in some places. So those were the days, right? I still feel Calcutta as a soul that most of the cities don't have it, right? And then take the first local at 4 in the morning, go back to Kharagpur, eat idlis, and then sleep on Sunday. So this was our TiE event day. Right now, because of the situation, we're doing it virtually, but I can still remember it's still like fresh in my head. The whole 24 hours, right, which we'll spend in Calcutta and have fun and also learn from these people. Right. So that was, and what I've seen is that I've seen a lot of good startups coming from those parts of the country, but unfortunately, most of these founders had to move from those cities in order to build teams, right? And one of the reasons, I mean, if you ask Pallav, if you ask Abhishek also, or other, like for example, one of my Kharagpur senior startups called Data Resolve, they were based out of Kolkata for almost a big part of their early days, but they had to move to Bangalore and Noida for the same reason, right? Talent, right? And talent is still a big challenge for any size of the company, be it a startup, be it a large tech company. Challenge is it's also a challenge when you are in a city like Calcutta or Bhubaneswar, right, which typically does not attract the tech talent. So there is you can say a trend of so it's not that the talent is not there. In fact, some of the good hires that I have done are from the eastern part of the country. Right? Some of my programmers have actually studied in good colleges in Bengal, in Odisha, but they just once they study, they just move out because there are no opportunities there, right? I think it's both. People are not aware that there are good opportunities out there also, and we need to come up with initiatives so that we can retain the talent there. But now I think the COVID has the tailwind or the silver lining of COVID is that now you can build team anywhere. So if you are a founder of an entrepreneur based out of Calcutta, you don't need to hire locally. You can hire from Bangalore. You can hire from Hyderabad. So I think that the level playing field, right? So now startups can be built from the remotest corner of the country. And I think Ravi, you would agree, right? You would be seeing amazing founders coming from smaller cities in India, and they don't need to move to Bangalore at all.
Mm. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a level playing field. But then still, even if it's virtual, you can hire from anywhere. It's still a big problem, right? Hiring is one of the primary job that a founder or a promoter or a director of a company should do, right? Because at the end of the day, we are supposed to build a team, give them their vision, give our vision to them, give them their goals, give them responsibility and resources to solve it. We cannot be always there to do things, right? Then it will not scale, right? So as founders, even if you're not trying to build a unicorn, we're still thinking of growth, right? Anything that is not growing is what we say is dead, right? So even if it's business or a person or a living organism, we want that thing to grow, right? So at what pace depends on what kind of money the company has raised, whether if they want to become a unicorn. All of those things are we can leave for discussion later. But at the end of the day, that is what is needed, right? If you're a business, you can only perform better quarter on quarter or year on year when you have a great team. right? And great team is needed for great delivery of the product or service that you are building, right? So without further ado, I have a small presentation, Ravi. So we'll go through that. What
Certainly.
I've done
And
is,
just I would just need your permission to be excused. I have got some very important work at home. So
no, no,
I'll leave it in the able hands of Neha. She'll be here to take care.
yeah, no issues. I mean, I'm glad that you joined at least for 5-10 minutes. We had a chance to catch up,
Thank
and
you so much,
obviously we'll
Subhendu.
we'll do it
Catch up.
later.
Catch
Yeah.
up soon. Yeah,
Okay,
love
Ravi.
it.
Be safe. Bye.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick presentation. So I put a slide on strategies on how, as a founder of a startup, or if you are uh, a large company, does not matter. Some of these strategies are size agnostic. It's true for, in fact, to be honest, trust me, we work with large companies. It's the same pain for them what it could be for an early stage entrepreneur who just started his company. It is nothing different, right? They also face the same problem. You are looking for 5 engineers, they're looking for 500 engineers. So it does not matter. They are also kind of cribbing, saying, I am not able to hire good talent. It's taking time. It's very costly. So I'll just put that thing into perspective, and then I'll be happy to take questions, and we can discuss some of the particular issues if any founders or any of the participants have. Neha, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay,
can see.
cool. So this was the topic which was given to me. In fact, this is a topic that I also personally like a lot. So what is a world-class startup team, right? Since I guess most of the participants are founders or directors or promoters of the companies, like I mentioned, a startup team is the early core team, or you can say your generals, right? Whom you hire so that they can take your vision and execute it, right? That is the first thing, right? If they can take your vision and execute it without your much intervention, right? You could be there to coach them, mentor them, train them, but they should be able to take one piece of your vision and start executing it, whether it's the product, sales, marketing, anything, right? And some of the points that I will mention is quite, you can say, you will see that it's towards more technology hire, because we primarily deal in technology hiring. But some of these things are also true for any sort of hiring, right? Like I said, whether you're hiring, whether a big company, small company, it's equally painful. Whether you are hiring technology guys or the best the next sales guy, right? Because as founders in early stages, we all do the sales ourselves, right? But you know that there are other things on your plate that you need to take care of. There is legal, finance. If you are raising money, there are investor relationship. If you've raised money, you need to constantly engage with your board, right? If you're launching a new product, you might want to sit with the technology team. So same problem, right? If you're looking for the first good sales guy, it's as equally painful as finding the next engineer, right? So some of these things would be true for a lot of skill sets. If not, I will explicitly mention what we can do there, right? But you will see that my presentation of the strategies that I'll discuss is more geared toward technology hiring. So now, if you think as founders or as any size of company, there is a there's a pool of talent available, right? I mean, these are people either in colleges or they have graduated. But if you see it, they are actually divided into 4 categories, right? There is one which is actively looking out. So these are people who are very active on job boards. They're active on my platform, Skillenza. They will drop you an email on your careers@xyz.com, or they will actually connect with you on LinkedIn. They'll say, hey, there was an issue because of COVID, I have lost my job. Or pre-COVID, they'll say, I'm looking for a change. I found your company very interesting. Some of the times we do find good talent here, but most of the times you would want to engage with talent who's really good but not very super active or aggressively looking out, right? So since it's a demand supply equation out here, so a good job seeker is the one who's not very actively looking, right? And these are the people who will not join you because they're looking for the next best salary, or they're looking for the next best promotion. these are the explorer ones are the ones which is the third category, which is actually large number. If you see LinkedIn survey, it's a very large number. So you don't know that people whom you think that they might not be looking out, they could be your best hire, right? Because they will, when they talk to you, they will not judge you saying, are you paying me the salary? I'm changing the job, I'm actively looking, I can join you in 3 days, but you have to give me 50% hike on my previous salary. So you in the early days, you should tend to avoid very super active candidates. Try to be in the tentative and explorer zone. If you can find a super passive guy who's not looking out, but you have got great feedback from him, maybe from his ex-boss or his colleague or a family friend, amazing, right? So as founders, try to avoid the first active ones, because sometimes we tend to say, hey, this guy has applied and I don't have time to interview, I'll just hire that person. But when they join you, their expectation is that you have to pay more money or give them some role, right? So try to do that, and that's why has to be more proactiveness coming from a founder than reactiveness, right? So people who are applying to your career page or your job site, or they're pinging on LinkedIn, you are being reactive to their engagement, right? But you have to be proactive, right? So that's why the post and pray model does not work for a startup founder, not at all. You have to be proactive, looking out for the talent, which means you are actually looking at the second, probably, but third and fourth category, right? So try to look at third and fourth category, not first category. And that's where the post and pray model does not work. This is okay for larger companies, because let's say if you're Infosys and there's a project and you need to hire 100 engineers quickly, so you cannot do like super passive, you cannot be personal with them, you cannot keep pinging them, you cannot have a coffee chat or a virtual chat with them, right? Infosys does not have that time or the luxury, because they have a project they have to deliver. So what they'll do is they'll put a job post in 10 different places. They will work with a platform like us and quickly hire, right? In a day, they will actually onboard 50 people. As startups, we cannot do that. Have to be very choosy. One of the mantras is that hire slow, fire fast, right? This is what, whenever I have not done this as a founder, I have actually regretted on my decision. So whenever I've taken it, where I've kind of spoken to the candidate, maybe more candidates, I've thought that probably there is some issue. And then I have thought, no, if there is some issue, I'll not take it forward. But whenever I've taken the shortcut and said, hey, there's some issue, but we'll manage because I don't have time to do more interviews, we have actually regretted on that hiring decision, right? So that's what is necessary. Don't post and pray. Be more proactive. So if you see some of these, whenever you are hiring in small numbers or large numbers, hiring is a broken process. Whether you are a company or a candidate, it's basically painful for both parties. And we tend to spend a lot of time in managing the process and setting up things. Instead of that, we should be talking to more candidates, right? We should be engaging with more candidates. So how do you do it, right? And to be honest, today it's a candidate-driven market, right? Just because of COVID, the trend is that there are a lot of job seekers in the market, but companies also have retained the talent that is really good somehow, right? Even if they're facing problems, there is cash crunch. They have retained their good talent by putting out stock options on the table, right? Giving a new role, whatever, right? So we have done it ourselves, and I've seen founders coming up with strategies where they can retain good talent. So there, some of the there are cases where there is a good talent who has been laid off, but most of the cases the company would have done something anyways, right? You would have seen a lot of these biggies talking about that it was anyways a natural attrition, so COVID has not played any role, right? So still the market, even if COVID is there, it's still candidate driven. The job seeker has more power today, right? And as founders, we need to hire the best talent, right? At a lower cost or at an optimum cost. So which means that the candidate will always have a bigger hand in the this deal or arrangement, right? They will always be saying that, hey, this is what I want. You cannot be pushing them a lot. But then if it's a candidate driven market, how do we change the model, right? How do we actually take care of it, right? So if you see, this is traditionally how you would have actually hired, or if you have worked somewhere, the company would have hired, right? What they will do is they'll put a job post. In previous days, there will be advertisements on paper. It still comes, the classifieds, right? I think Economic Times still has their jobs section coming on Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's still there. They will put some ads digitally or on paper or anywhere, right? They'll attract the talent. They will filter them out, talk to them, and then once that is done, they'll recruit or hire that person, right? But we need to flip the model, right? This is what we propose as a company. This is what I've seen works well for startups and founders. So what you need to do is you need to be proactive, which I've already established that you need to be proactive to hire. So you need to engage the talent before you want to hire them, right? So as they say, a stitch in time saves nine, right? So if you are proactive, you will actually save a lot of time. You might think that, hey, I'm investing time in something which I might use after 6 months. Why I'm doing it? Whether it's hiring good talent or raising money or customers, right? So I think in today's world, it's more relationship driven. It's not transactional. People would only want to engage with someone they know, they trust, right? And the trust cannot be built in a day. The trust cannot be built in the old model, because it's pray and pray, right? It's pray and post, right? So in this model, the new model, you need to be, because you know that you have started the company is here to stay. You have to build a team subsequently. Why not start today by not actually hiring them but engaging with them, right? Like engaging with the right talent. And then once there is a certain relationship, I think that's when you start kind of putting your hooks, right? Saying, hey, by the way, I'm building my team and I know you for 6 months. I feel that you are a great person. Can we explore that conversation versus saying, oh, you applied for my job post on Naukri, let's talk. Those two conversations are very different, right? So that way, the conversion that you'll have and also the kind of talent you will hire would be very different, right? The team you'll build would be very different. So now how do you do it, right? How do you flip the model? So the first is obviously digital presence. As founders, we are all either technology savvy people or we have people in our team which are technology savvy. So come up with the platform, use a platform, come up with some landing page, right? You can build it on your own. In today's world, actually, as founders, even if you're not a techie, you can quickly build something on Webflow. There are a lot of no-code platforms where you can put a career page, right? So do that, because the moment somebody hears about the company, they want to do research on you. And if you don't have a good landing page, so there is a business landing page which your customers are seeing, that's fine. But I'm talking more about from a talent perspective, right? So if they want to understand who are the founders, if there are investors, who are the investors, what's the vision of the company, who are the current employees, what's the perk, right? So these are something that you need to create, and for that you don't need to spend a lot of money. Like I mentioned, you can use a no-code platform or a low-code platform like WordPress, Webflow. Do have a good presence on all the social media platforms. The new generation, at least, is very social media savvy, right? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, then angel list, right? For founders, angel list matter a lot. So keep these profiles, just not create an account, but keep these profiles updated, right, with good amount of information, right? Talk about the founder. So and also, as you grow as a company, your pitch changes, right? In your initial days when you are starting up, probably selling the founder profile is what you have, right? That's the product you can sell to the talent or investors, actually, right? So there you talk more about your team members, your founders. The moment you raise some money, you might also talk about, hey, we are backed by great investors, so they believe us, right? And then when you have traction, you can talk about the traction. If you have something which is IP, patent, people still value it, so you can talk about that. So this is what your collection digital footprint, you have to build that, and it does not cost you money. So that's the whole point, right? Now, these are great initiatives. You would see today, obviously, things are happening virtually, but as things come back to normal, you might have these developer talks or meetups happening on different skill sets, right? It's happening virtually also. So try to attend some of these. There are smart people attending these events, right? You can always network with them, exchange cards, develop some relationship, right? And talk to them. going forward, right? So meetups and tech talks are great places to discover talent. And the moment you think there is some bandwidth that you can, in fact, in today's world, to do a virtual meetup, all you need is a Zoom subscription or any other platform subscription, and then start using social media and saying that, hey, we are building a product, and my CTO will talk about something in technology, right? So that way you can quickly build your employer brand. You can brand your CTO saying that, hey, my CTO is a great engineer, and any software engineer who will work under him or with him, right? He can be a great mentor. So you can sell his or her profile, right? As the first pitch when you are onboarding good talent. If we are hiring for a sales guy, you can sell the profile of the CEO and saying that this person is a great person to work with, is an interesting person to work with. So I think these are the early days pitches, and either hosting one or attending one would really help you to engage with the talent. And these are almost for free, right? So in early days, obviously, it requires your time. And as founders and promoters of companies, we have to do it till we build, let's say, a team of 30, 40, or 50 member, right? Those first 20, 30 good guys have to be handpicked, right? Otherwise, it will not happen. So now we meetups and webinars, right? You can attend, you can host, and you can try to start connecting with the talent. This is what we do. You can say it's a shameless plug. So we actually organize hackathons for companies who want to engage with technical talent. That's one of our primary offerings. Because as you grow, right? Like I said, in the first initial 20, 30 team members, you might want to engage on your own. But as you start growing and as you need more talent in a quick manner, you want to scale your efforts also, right? So hackathons become a great deal there. All of these developers want to engage with you because they want to solve your problem. If you don't want to engage, don't want to host a hackathon, there are other ways that we also do. So what we do is we club 4 or 5 startups together so that they can jointly host a hackathon, right? We have done that several times where 5 startups have come together, right? We have actually worked with organizations like TiE and NASCOM to help their members do one hackathon only for exclusive for that community. So that way we try to engage the talent, right? And what happens in these hackathons is you give out a problem statement. Your technology team, your CTO, your founders are judges and mentors there. You go and actually talk to these people, right? And once you talk to them, they will also understand. They like you. They see you in flesh and blood, and that's the relationship I'm talking about. That's the proactiveness, right? And as they say, right, people don't leave or join companies. They leave or join people, right? So when somebody leaves a job, if you ask that person what happened, they'll say my manager was not working with my manager, or my manager's manager, it was the relationship was not good. Nobody. And if you ask about the company, they'll say, yeah, the company was good, but it's a large company. I am only connected to, let's say, 5 people in the company. Whether it's a large company, it does not matter. So they leave because they did not like that immediate manager or the peers, right? So that's the whole point. There were people join people, people leave people, right? So that's true for any relationship, and it's true in recruitment. So when they see you in flesh and blood, that has a great impact, right? This is something which I think all of us can do as founders. We should do it. We should talk about our industry, right? So it just establishes thought leadership, helps you to brand you as a person, your company, your it helps you to be in front of the customer, because the customer understands that this guy is talking a lot about this thing exactly the way I'm doing. One of the selfish reasons you can say is that I want to understand if I can talk to some of you guys and start a relationship, right? Maybe you will become a customer after a year, does not matter. But I know that the company is here to stay, my company, and some of you will become large customers going forward in future, right? So it is always a selfish reason that I go and speak at events. So as founders, you should also do, which I spoke about, the meetups. You can become a speaker if you're not organizing it. Blogs, in that case, become a great tool, right? Not only to raise money, market to the customers, but also talk about what you are building, any technology problem you're solving, because that will become a great thing to attract talent, right? You might ask me that, hey, the examples that you're showing is LinkedIn and Netflix. They manage or maintain an engineering blog. We don't have the time, right? But still, they might be coming up with one post per week, right? You can say almost like a week they are coming up, but you can at least do one post a month, right? And those 3-4 blogs will help you a lot in capturing some of the talent, right? This is great. Try to see if you can be part of some of the podcasts that people are running as a speaker. You can also run some podcasts yourself, right? These are all methods that I'm saying does not require any investment, right? It just requires you to spend time and use the power of today's content, whether it's text, audio, or visual, right? Any of these 3 formats will go uh, uh, in a long run, will actually win, right? And once you create the content, it stays on the internet, right? And that will actually, you might be amazed that somebody will say, hey, I attended a meetup where you were a speaker. I really liked your company, and that's why I want to apply for a role, right? Or I saw a blog that you had written 2 years back, and I got excited about the role or what problem you're solving. So I think these things, the investment in these things will pay, right? That's why I say it's a proactive thing. You cannot always talk about the ROI, right? Now, video is a great thing for
infusing AI into the files so that we can get more insights, we can get more automation and predictions.
So any form of video, whether it's a video job description, right? Or a chat.
Hi, I'm Ritu Taneja, and I take care of the nutrition.
Or a chat about your company culture is always great, right? Whether it's Satya Nadella or you speaking, I will say that it's the same thing, because both of you are talking about your vision, right? And you speaking in a video format, which will become part of your, like I said, the LinkedIn page or your own page is great, right? And like I said, you only have content to sell today, right? Till there is a brand where people say, oh, I know this company, even if I have not heard the founder or have interacted with the founder, I'll apply because I think it's a great brand. Till you go there is a lot of hard work that we all have to do, which is content marketing in various forms, right? So if you see, the strategies are nothing but content creation in forms of different mediums, and this distribution of it to the right audience, which is, like I said, does not cost you money, and networking with the right set of people, hanging out in the events where these developers and marketers come together, right? This is an interesting, you might as well say that a lot of these big companies are doing it, but you can also be, I've seen a lot of startups, very early stage startups, coming up with amazing methods, right? So we have a client called WakeFit, which some of you might have heard about, because they actually make, so if you see the name, it's WakeFit. So they actually produce mattresses and products related to sleeping. So they have mattresses, pillows, beds. So they use a lot of technology, and they have come up with these products. And they ran a initiative called Sleeping Intern, right? Internship for sleeping, using their product. So you will get an internship where you have to sleep on the product for some 100 days, and you get paid for that, right? I don't know whether it was a fun internship, whether they hired, but they worked with us for the technology hiring. But what happened was, because of that innovative ad or job post, everybody was talking about them. This is, I think, probably 7-8 months back. You might find their article on your story. And now when we actually, as Calenza, when we talk to some of our users or job seekers and tell them, hey, WakeFit is hiring, they already know WakeFit, right? And they know, oh, we have heard about the company. There was some ad about sleeping intern. It was very funny. Okay, we'll talk to the company. We think it's a cool company, right? So you can see that using content marketing, you can still be very innovative. You don't need to be a Gojek or a Google.com to actually use some of these techniques, right? You can be very funny, right? And video is just a great medium to attract the new generation, what we call as the Generation Z, right? So these are very active on some of the new age platforms like Instagram, right? I would not be surprised if a founder comes up with a very innovative mashup with a Bollywood song, inviting developers to join their team. I mean, that would fly, right? If you come up with that model, I think that's a great idea. You should do it. Put it on Instagram, and I guess TikTok is banned today, but put on other similar platforms. You will see that you becoming viral, and probably good developers applying because they think it's a cool company, right? And some of the new generation guys, they want to join companies not because of money. I think some of these new generation guys are also aware that we want to work with founders and for CEOs who or CTOs who have a different attitude, right, than a larger company. So I think that works in your favor. The new generation really wants to work in startups. So that is a good thing that has happened in the last 10 years, which I've seen from my college days when I used to come to TiE Kolkata versus when I'm actually speaking at TiE Kolkata as a guest. So that change I have seen, right? Now, I wanted to focus on this thing because what happens is as founders, I've seen a lot of my clients would say, hey, I want to hire the smartest guy, probably from the IITs and IIMs. That's fine. I'm from one of the colleges, but I still believe there is enough talent which is not from these pedigree or branded colleges, right? They are from some lesser known college, but they are amazing, right? So as a platform, we tend to promote the right side of the persona. We want those kind of people to come forward, and some of these guys actually do really well when it comes to the startups, right? Obviously, do try to hire people who are from the branded colleges, but as founders, we should be also aware that a good set of talent is coming from smaller cities, lesser known colleges, right? Lesser known brands. So try to capture them, and they are more hungry, right? These are people who are more hungry, and we have been very successful in discovering these kind of people. Obviously, the first kind of person is easily you can find, right? You can go to LinkedIn and say whoever is graduated from IIT Kharagpur or IIT Guwahati in last 5 years, you'll find those people, ping them, and you can talk to them. But when I tell you that there are colleges in West Bengal from where I know there are really good Python programmers, you don't have the list. Nobody has the list, right? That's where some of the platforms like us come into picture, where we tell you that you have to go to this small town and this college, you will find really good guys because they have learned on their own and they are very hungry, right? This is one of the strategies that founders should use, and they also are light on the pocket, right? This is a trade secret, but they're light on your pocket. They don't demand the same salary that an IIT guy will demand. They eventually will because they are really talented, and they might ask you where you might be at a stage where you say, hey, yeah, you have been with me for 3 years and you really deserve this money, I'll give you. They might leave you, but then the early part where they were very hungry, they would join hands with you to get your vision executed, right? And that's a great journey actually with some of these hungry people, right? They're intellectually hungry, they want to do hard work, and they will give you a better result than some of these pedigree guys. This is what, like I mentioned, some of the challenges that happens on a platform. And this is why you should be using this, because you can actually discover the right persona, right? The right side persona. The left is anyways, since it's coming from a branded college, you say, yeah, these guys might be really good. I might need to do a small check. But for the right side talent, which is coming from an humble background, you might need to use some of these challenges to see how good they are, right? And here your conversion ratios would be less. If you talk to 10 guys from a tier 2 college, you might hire one person. If you talk to 10 guys from IIT, you might hire 5 people. But that's fine. The one person will probably do wonders for you, right? And like I said, it's lighter on pocket, so that works in your favor. So now what we do, a little bit about the company, right? So what we do is we are a platform for skill acceleration. We are data driven, which means we understand the hiring trends. We understand what skills are important in the market, what kind of questions to be asked, what kind of skills the job seeker should learn in order to crack these jobs, right? The job seekers can do 2 things on a platform. They solve these challenges, participate in these hackathons, and they get hired. So companies like you, founders like you, use our platform to hire them. And now we are launching our learning initiative called Skill Dojo, because the moment we see that there is a lot of good talent coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities, humble backgrounds, they need a little push, right? They need some mentorship, they need some help. The way this boot camp is happening to help fellow founders, we are running some of these boot camps ourselves, calling it a Skill Dojo, where experts from the industry are teaching them so that they can become better. And again, they go back to the pool of job seekers and get connected to companies, right? So this will be all from my side, Neha. I'll be happy to take questions.
Thank you so much, Vendu.
I hope it was useful.
Yeah, it was amazing session. Yeah, so dear attendees, I will request if you have any questions, please raise your hand. I will enable your so that you can speak. Please raise your hand if you have any questions, or you can, if you want to write, you can write to the
You
chat
can
box
also
as
put it
well.
on the chat.
Yeah. If you want to write, you can write to the chat box, or if you have any questions, you can raise your hand as well. I guess one question is there.
Yeah, I think Prerna has raised her hand.
Yeah. Hi, Prerna. Prerna, you need to unmute yourself. Hi, Prerna. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please ask your question.
Yeah, actually, I'm a civil engineer and I'm a part of a startup company. Okay, we deal in structure consultancy. But as far as I know, there are no such good platform to hire good civil engineers. What we get from the market is not a very good batch of people. So can you kindly guide me that if is there any specific platform for hiring good civil engineers?
You're right,
Apart from college camp or college placements.
yeah. So you're right, Prerna. There are not, in fact, traditionally there are a few platforms that are well known in the industry, right? They deal with all sorts of talent. Now those platforms have become huge, and they don't give you the right value. Uh, Now what has happened is companies like us, we have tried our best to solve at least for the technology piece of it. There are some platforms who are being built for engineering talent also, like civil engineering, mechanical engineering. I can give you the name. In fact, I can just drop an email to Neha. My team has that details actually. We do a computer analysis.
Okay.
We do have a detail. Good company actually, which is trying to get connected. And they have a similar model. We do it in technology. They do it in mechanical, structural engineering, civil engineering. They also do training programs, AutoCAD training for these engineers, and try to help them become better so that they can get paid.
Okay.
So I can actually, I don't have it on top of my head, but I can send it to Neha and you
Sure.
can.
Sure.
But college,
Thank you so much.
yeah, college connects would be great, right? You can probably start doing little early talking to the professors out there in the civil engineering department.
Yes, we do that.
I think and I think one of the ways which I did not mention in the deck, which I thought will come in the Q&A, obviously, is to actually start as a founder, start tapping into the internship model, right? And we use it
Right.
right day one.
Yes, we are doing that. We are doing that.
That's a great strategy, and if others should also take cues from it, that hiring people as interns in their early days is a great way of building a relationship, right? Do that, and if you
Right.
like, you offer them, and they stick with you because their career started with you, right? That's the first job. So there is a good
Right.
loyalty that is built when you do the internship model.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. And it will be great if you can share the details of such platforms.
I'll do that. Uh, um,
Thank you so much.
my pleasure.
Thank you,
There
Prerna.
is another question from Naman. I'll take that.
Yeah.
How can we build a great culture from early stages of a startup? Now, and that's a great question. And it took me almost 2-3 years to understand that strategy is a big thing, right? But nothing in front of the culture, right? So as a founder, you'll always think, oh, we should do the product launch in 6 months, then we will raise Series A, then we'll do this, then Series A. These are all strategies, tactics, right? But if you're not building a great culture, you will go nowhere, right? And as they say, there is a common saying that strategy and culture, right? So culture eats strategy for breakfast every day. Whatever strategies we build as founders and promoters, it'll go into vain if you don't have a great culture, right? So now how do we do it, right? So I think as founders, we have the superpower of uh, being very direct and transparent to our early team members, which you don't have a leverage as a public company CEO, right? But as a founder of an early stage startup, you have the superpower of being very transparent. You can always get these guys involved in a lot of these early days, right? For example, some of the team members, I do take them to my investor meetings. I have my core team, which is on my slide deck, on my investor memo. So they feel empowered. They feel part of the journey. They're not an employee. They don't work under you. They work with you, right? So I think that change you have to bring somehow in the way you work. And one of the things that I see is, which is a great culture fit for me, is that can I go and have beers with this person, right? Which means, can I talk to this person off work? If that is an interesting person, right, then probably it will be a good match, right? And recruitment is very similar to the way we seek a life partner, right? Uh, Very similar. We look for compatibility, we look for culture fit, we look for, hey, can we spend time together? Do we have some common hobbies that we can do together? Some people say that opposites attract each other, but my personal I don't know what Neha will agree, right? Where you could have asked Ravi also, but my thing is birds of the same feather flock together, right? That's my these are two opposite schools of thought, but I adhere to that birds of the same feather flock together, and that has been true for me in my personal life and also in the startup. So I am myself. You can see when I was talking about my uh, Kolkata night walks, right? I spoke about Kolkata roll, so you could have figured out that I'm a big foodie, and so most of my company guys are big foodies. So we talk a lot about food, right? And that's a common topic. So you have to find common topics outside work while you're building the culture. So if you spend time together, then there is a good camaraderie built, right? And then you can rely on each other. You can say, hey, can we sit on this Sunday and get this thing done? The person likes you, right? He does not see you as a boss. He sees you as a mentor, right? And then you can have that thing done. And that is a great culture, right? When you're getting shit done in a startup in early day, like whatever it takes, that's the great culture in a startup. As you grow, you will start having these boundaries of personal, professional life, right? You can see that the way today Amazon employees would have a lot of freedom. They would have some work-life balance. But you can ask any of the early 100 employees, they will say that, I mean, we had worked our ass off, right? I think those are the things. A great culture comes from, and it's all founder-driven, right? You will only attract people that will gel with you. If they're not gelling with you, there will be some friction, and it will not result in a great culture. Yeah, so Tanushri has a great question. I think as founders and promoters, we need some of these resources. Yes. So AngelList is a great place. We also use it ourselves. We have not come up with our free offering, but we do have some of the initiatives where we help founders hire talent. For example, we will invite a founder to become a judge in a hackathon, and those 100 engineers, he is free to talk and engage, right? So you can list us as a semi-free platform. AngelList is not completely free. They also have some paid models, but their free version will help you to attract good talent. There is another platform called HasGeek, right? HasGeek does allow you to do free job posts, so you can connect with good talent. Another platform that I will say is actually LinkedIn. LinkedIn job posts are not free, but LinkedIn as a platform is free for you, right? And as a founder, you should be very active on LinkedIn today, right? Amazing platform. It has surprisingly a lot of Indian professionals are spending time there. Students are spending time there. So if you have a clout, right? If you have a following on LinkedIn, it will help you to hire talent. So if you are fine, you can add me on LinkedIn, and you will see if I post something on LinkedIn about our hiring, you will see that there's a great engagement, because I have done some investment in form of time and content to build that cloud, right? And that is what I think every founder should do. And like I said, this will not help you to hire a good talent, but also to raise money and find great customers, right? So this is like helps you to do three things, right? So this investment is a must investment from every founder. This one of the founders, if it's a combined team, I would request one of the founders to become very active on a platform like LinkedIn, where or Twitter, but I will stress more on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn reaches to a wider audience. Uh, Twitter reaches to more of the startup crowd and VCs, but LinkedIn will also reach out to the talent that you are targeting. So that's where you need to spend time. So these are almost some platforms where you can spend time and find talent for almost no cost, nil cost. Any questions?
Any other questions, attendees, if you have? I don't think so. I guess there is no other questions. So thank you so much, Vindu, for coming and accepting the invitation from the last time. It was amazing, 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 your session. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Now, yeah, we will going to again call you for another session. Don't worry, we will not going to leave you.
I'm okay. Anything for the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I will like to thank. Oh, one I have another raised hand. I guess Tanushri has something to ask. Hi, Tanushri. You can unmute yourself.
Or you can write the question. Go either way.
If you, yeah, you can write your question, or else you can unmute yourself. Invoice.com.
Yeah, angel.co. Angel.co actually. So you can Google it. You will find angel.co. The website is angel.co, or you can Google it. AngelList. It allows you to create your profile, company profile. It allows you to post a job. People can apply. You can talk to them. They have, like I said, they have a free version. They have a paid version. Free version works quite well. For early stage founders, it's a great tool.
Thank you so much, Bindu. Now I would like to thank our annual sponsors. Our annual sponsor is Tata Tennis Business Services, Chetik.com, Diadem Technology, 10 Downing Street, our banking partner ICICI Bank, and TiE Kolkata Bootcamp chapters partners are TiE Kerala, TiE Ahmedabad, TiE Andhra Pradesh, and TiE Mumbai. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, attendees. We have our another session on next Saturday. So I will request all of you to please come and join us. And thank you so much, Shubhendu, again for accepting the invitation and doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Naman asked that how can we get connected. So guys, everyone, you can add me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Feel free to add me. Just Google my name, type my name on LinkedIn or Google it. You will find all the relevant social links.
And if you any of you if you are having any issue, you can write to me as well. I will just give his profile details, LinkedIn profile.
Not a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
I will share it with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Abhishek.
Yeah, yeah, sure, definitely.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye.